Hello and welcome. If you're new to my channel, welcome back. This is the U.S. Military Endurance Sports Fuego TT record attempt, and boy, oh boy, I literally just got finished. And wow, was this an intense event! So right off the bat, the suggestion was to basically start strong, and as we get up to the 10-kilometer mark, just around the 10-kilometer mark, where the actual Tempus Fugit um, segment begins, then we would start to ramp up that last kilometer or so from the pace that we were at to about 50 plus kilometers an hour. And as you can see, my threshold is all over the place. I am, hovering in the 200s right now while I'm in the group, but we're buzzing at 40 kilometers an hour. And it was intense to get here. Even just to start was intense. So you see a lot of back and forth, just kind of the leaders of the team, where those two yellow markers are at, kind of explaining what's going to happen, when we're going to kick off. I kind of bounce back and forth. I'm trying to type a message, which is why I start falling back. And I realize that I fell off the back. So I do a little bit of a dig to get right back on. We are on the KDEX um, tri bike and the DT Swiss disc wheels. So, we've got a good setup going, and, trying to keep it at a good pace. Again, falling a little bit off the back, but I do my best to kind of keep on. I'm trying to find a good rhythm to basically function at this point. I'm trying to stay within the group and hold my legs. So a little bit about the team itself. The U.S. Military Endurance Sports is basically a group that is designed for active and veterans of the military, U.S. military armed forces, to help promote a healthy lifestyle, obviously through cycling. They do have a in real life team, but they also host a lot of different group rides and events within Zwift. And so, this is kind of where I started with Zwift. I used to do group rides with them throughout the week. I believe it was on Wednesdays. And man, they are tough. They do not play. Their group rides are like, hey, we're gonna hold around 2.4 to 2.6, but in reality, we're gonna actually run it at 3.2, and we're just gonna keep going and put the pressure on. So we're about to get started with the actual TTT portion here. You see, they're letting everybody know that, hey, it's the segment's about to start, about to come up. Let's start ramping up the power. You see, right now we're at 50 kilometers an hour, and this is before the start. Now, I ended up pushing up a little bit too early. I was, I was thinking the segment was going to start at the 10.4 kilometer mark to go. But in actuality, that's when they were going to start ramping up. So that, I misread that, and ultimately ended up doing an extra, couple minutes of effort that I just could not sustain as they started ramping up. So you see my speed dropping down a little bit as everybody starts to pass me. And, this is really where the action kicks off. Right now, we had just completed about 10 kilometers an hour, or just completed about 10 kilometers. And the goal is to push up to, as you see on the screen, 55 kilometers an hour. And boy, oh boy, was I not ready for that kind of effort. Me having just come back off of, a few days off the bike, I definitely, I thought this would be a good short ride, hard, quick effort. You see all the flame socks going. Everybody's lighting it up, as the pace gets ramped up, and the segment is right around, somewhere there it goes. Just started, and you see the pace kicking up real quick.
Oh
And as
shit.
we start going, I'm right now in the 300s. My heart rate's in the upper 180s. Trying to
Oh
push
my god.
400 watts and trying to hold it as long as I can. But the group is slowly starting to push away from me. And at this point, I'm realizing I'm not going to keep up. There's no way I'm going to keep up with these guys. I'm falling off the back. And in
Jesus.
races like this, once you fall off the back, there's no catching up. Like, these guys are gone. Um, so I do a little bit of a dig here to bridge up with this person. Hold on to their wheel, and I figure if I can hold on to their wheel long enough, we can push up and get back on. But ultimately,
Oh my god,
it
my heart.
just my legs were cooked. I that those first 10 kilometers were already, pushing my limits. And as you can see by the red, I was already done at this point. I, held on
Oh my god.
as long as I could. So because I knew I wasn't going to, be able to provide any assistance on this, then my focus was to, support the group by, basically switching to fan view, and just seeing if I can, fan view the guys that were, on the front. Right now I'm kind of still switching back and forth trying to figure out, who the right person is, um, to get the entire team, because you know that's
Oh
where
my
I
god.
figured I could, offer the best support, is by making sure that, I'm watching their progress. I'm highlighting, you know, who's up front, the kind of effort they're doing. If you look at, this person right now, Girl Dad is holding 400 plus watts. Um, uh, I mean, just incredible, absolutely incredible. And so, same thing. I'm, jumping back and forth, trying to find, get into the group, make sure I'm highlighting everybody, as many people as I can within the group itself, that is leading the pack. What a great sideline view right there from Zwift, just showing the while it may be an avatar that's putting out that effort, it is the person. That person is likely looking the same way. Lean forward, head on straight, and just pushing as much um, pushing as
Oh,
much
you
effort
did.
as possible in order to keep the pace high for the team. Because that's, again, the name of this game when it comes to this kind of an effort is do what's best for the team. And
Damn it. It's
as
out.
much as I wish I could have, stayed up there with the front group, even just holding on to the back, these guys are powerful. As you can see right now, they're cruising at 54 kilometers an hour, really just keeping the pace strong. Right now, we're in a little bit of a front group there, watching this rider, Greg, and, he's just booking it, holding about, mid 300s, but still the group is holding a good, 53-kilometer an hour pace. And, you know, when while I was doing this, looking at the way that the group is kind of organized, I think the only thing that I would say that would have been nice to see is a little bit more organization. Now, when you get a group this size doing a time trial, it's not going to be that easy, especially when it's, an invitational type thing. You get someone like me who's done, a handful of time trials. I feel like I'm more comfortable with it. I would still be out of, if I could stay with them, I would still be hard pressed to stay
Uh-huh.
organized. And in a whether it's in a line of two, a line of a single file line. And the only reason why I point that out is because there's gonna be people that are putting a strong effort,
Great
but
job, guys.
ultimately they're wasting
Great
watts.
job.
um, and you see, like, there's three guys off the front, they're a couple seconds ahead. And those guys, while they're doing a great job and holding a strong pace, and ultimately keeping the 50 plus kilometer an hour effort uh, strong, they're three side by side versus in a perfect line. So, like I said, that's the only real criticism I have about this, in terms of the organization. Outside of that, man, this was a blast. They, as you can see, they're more than halfway through the segment, and flying, absolutely flying, holding 56 kilometers an hour right now, and ramping up uh, to 57. And this is, someone off the back is holding
Almost there,
57
guys.
kilometers an hour.
Almost there.
So they're
We got like
they're
2K left.
cruising, absolutely cruising. Um, and so this is where, when you're at this point, especially where you're starting to come up on the last few kilometers,
My legs are
it
toast.
everything in you is starting to, you know fall apart. It's, no matter how
Come on.
conditioned you are, putting out this level of effort that these guys are doing for as long as they've been doing it,
Come on.
you're going to start falling apart. And so you see the person that I'm on fan view right now is starting to fall back a little bit. But I think he or she, I can't see the name at the moment, but I think he or she was, just kind of setting the pace until, the rest of the team could go up. And as you can see, switched up to the front group here, trying to get a good,
Come on, guys.
camera angle. So
You
that way, again, can see the whole group. I love the fact that
got
Zwift is
this.
kind of switching it up in between, the sideline and, all the different views to be able to catch it. So they're kind of coming up to the last, I think, 3-ish kilometers here, and still holding above 50 kilometers an hour, absolutely flying. Which going through these
There you
flats,
go, guys. There you go.
besides the fact that the graphics is, improved on the last,
Last.
on one of the last versions and stuff, the graphics has improved a little bit. But while you're in that mode, you're not paying attention to, the trees or the rocks or
Come
the,
on, a kilometer
the
left.
pavement and the glue lines on the pavement. You're focused on
You got this.
how many kilometers you have left, the pace you're setting, what your wattage is, what your heart rate is. You know, this person here that we're watching is in the upper 400s with a
There
heartbeat of
you go, guys.
184.
There you go.
Hovering in the upper 180s. That is an effort. That is truly an effort. And that's what it takes to get to, to set records. And so the group here is about 15-ish strong, maybe a little bit more, maybe closer to 20 people, which is out of 70. That is fantastic of how many people actually made it to the end in that front group. And so, they're within a couple kilometers left and just ready to bring it home, still holding that 50 plus kilometer an hour pace, which is absolutely mind blowing for me. Watching this the whole way, I'm doing my best to cheer them on,
There you
even
go, guys.
though, I don't know if
Come on.
any of them are watching at the moment, or, I wasn't on the
Almost there.
Discord with them, so I wasn't able to cheer them on live like that.
Almost there. There you
But
go.
you see their numbers are starting to pick up into the orange to get across the line as quickly as possible. And I'm doing my best to
7:47.
keep the camera
5.
on them, because that was a
Absolutely epic.
monumental effort. You see the first person that came through is at 7:47,
Holy
7
smokes.
minutes 47 seconds for a 7.1 kilometer section.
Great job, guys.
That
Great job.
is mind blowing. Absolutely,
Come on.
crazy,
There
crazy
you go.
effort,
Okay.
crazy pace. Um, and just super, super cool to see. Again, if you're looking for a group ride, the USMES team always has stuff going on, whether it's a group ride or other team events. Check them out in the Zwift events. You'll see them all over the place. And again, fun, great group to ride with, lots of strong riders. And, considering I started my channel about a year ago, and they were, one of the first few groups that I, participated in group rides with, to see,
Oh
to
my God, my
see
legs.
this now a year later and be able to, even if I didn't keep up with them to the end, but to be able to, stick with them for as long as I did for the first 10K, um, really, really exciting to see, really exciting group. And again, check them out, support them in any way possible. And I'm going to end it for now because my last 2.5+ kilometers here are boring. It is just me trying to make it in alive at this point. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a chance. If you didn't get a chance to see it live, the full stream is on there. But again, I wanted to do this, cut this video on demand out and display it there because it was an absolutely fantastic effort on their part. And again, really, really great, great group to ride with. So here you go.